Hello and welcome to the Dustin Eric Podcast Show brought to you by Mimosa Networks. Hi, I'm Dustin, and today I have a very special guest with us today. It is Jim Nevelle. He's the new general manager of Mimosa. Jim, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Doing great, Dustin. Thanks.
Appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule to, spend a little time here on video chat with me. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. There might not be many people who are familiar with your journey. So can you just kind of walk us through your professional background and what led you to this point?
Sure. So I've been in telecom for quite some time. Actually, when you start looking at it, well over 25 years in various leadership roles. The more recent ones ran North America for a company called Katrine, one of the world's largest macro cell antenna vendors. Also ran the Americas for Ericsson for their antenna business, and then also ran North America for a company called Pros Technologies, which is also in the RF space. And ended up coming over to Mimosa due to the transaction, leaving Airspan, coming into the Reliance Jio family. They needed somebody to come in and help run it.
So it's safe to say you've been doing this for a few years on and off,
I think that's a good way of saying it. And also just, the loss of my hair has also proven it too. So it's perfect.
Great. So now that you're part of Mimosa and with us being part of the Radisys Jio family, what opportunities do you foresee in the integrating of the two cultures and the technological strengths of the two companies?
Well, let's first take a look at why Reliance Jio acquired us and blended us together with the Radisys group. Right now, Reliance Jio has some massive deployment plans in the works for their fixed wireless access. It's for their Air Fiber program. They're targeting somewhere around 200 million households. That's a public number. How much of that we'll be able to get with the Mimosa platform? That's really the objective here. But in addition to that, blending it together with the Radisys solution sets, GPON networks, subsidiary solution sets that they have. With that combination, I think we're going to be able to offer a pretty succinct broadband solution to all of our global customers.
Great. I know that at least at the Wispapalooza booth that we had, people were already interested in the fiber offerings that Radisys has today. So it's going to be really great to see what we can do together in the future. Go ahead.
No, please.
No, I was just going to move to the next question. So if you have a comment on that, let's go ahead and get it.
Well, and I think that's one of the interesting items of where we're faced with, especially in North America, is especially with WISPs and the programs, the federal programs coming around, which are going to be gearing people to a lot more of a fiber diet, if you will, as they start getting deployed. So here we have a fantastic wireless solution that we can offer. In addition to that, we can also offer a great fiber solution and try to blend the two together.
Right. And as we know, a lot of people are moving to fiber today. They're, at least with some people, they're deploying fixed wireless to get the customer base and then laying fiber and moving that network on down the line to pick up a new customer base and so on. So it's good to see that, we'll potentially be part of that fiber solution as well as the fixed wireless solution.
I hope so too.
All right, so let's move on here. So how would you describe your leadership style, and how do you think it'd benefit the combined strengths of Mimosa and Radisys?
One of the main things I like to try to help out with the teams that I've been involved with is collaboration. Overall, I believe in teamwork. That's the best way to get everyone moving down the right path. Setting up goals, objectives, and helping everyone that's around me. To be honest with you, I surround myself with people a hell of a lot smarter than I am. That's the number one secret to it. And with that, I try to give them the tool set so they can succeed. And I think we're seeing the same thing with the Radisys group. This is a excellent group of folks, professionals. All of them have long careers in the telecom space, and they've all been nothing but open arms in trying to welcome us into the group.
Well, I know I'm excited to be part of their team. They've been very welcoming to us and, helping us build our team very quickly as soon as they were in the door. So, looking forward to a long future with Radisys and Jio.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. I mean, the amount of resources that Reliance Jio is pouring into Mimosa right now, we really can't just skirt over that. from what the company has been experiencing the past few years, we're in a dramatic change for the better.
Absolutely. And because of that, so Mimosa has been known for innovative products in the past. So can listeners expect, to get back to that same trajectory that we were on before with innovation now that we're post-acquisition?
I hope so. No, all kidding aside, I think even right out of the gate, the customers are going to be very pleased with what they're seeing. Number one, we will be issuing out a new software load to the rest of the world that hopefully will shore up some issues that maybe they've had in the past. Number one. Number two, we're going to be launching a new platform here probably at the first part of the year in terms of our new backhaul solution. It's effectively released now, but we're going to get it, we'll call officially launched. We're going to be adding new products over the next, we'll call it 12 to 24 months. They're going to be looking towards millimeter wave type applications and et cetera. In addition to that, additional software enhancements that we're going to do to the portfolio. So I think what everybody is going to be seeing from us, it's going to be pretty special.
I think so too. I know that we got a little behind there, but we're going to catch back up and try to get ahead of the game again, or at least that's my hope.
I think that's not just a hope. I think that's a very easy promise we can make to the customer base.
All right, so let's go ahead and, from your vantage point, what are some of the most pressing challenges the industry faces today, and how is Mimosa preparing to tackle them? Or maybe better yet, how is Radisys or Geo with the Mimosa, subsidiary, going to help tackle those problems?
Well, let me give you the North American example first, and then we'll talk maybe some other regions around the world. So in North America right now, it's no secret that the telecom industry is having we'll call a lull moment, especially in the wireless space. There's only so many customers in terms of their growth, customer adds, et cetera. They can only add by stealing from each other, in terms of the carriers. So they're trying to find other sources of revenue. Fixed wireless access is something that they're starting to pick up on. And you're now dealing with carriers who in the past might not have embraced that model, are now looking at those opportunities. And I'm talking larger ones, not just wireless, but also we're starting to see more from the cable companies, et cetera, of how to use unlicensed fixed wireless access to try to grab more of we'll call it revenue source. And the reason for that is that they're using their licensed spectrum for mobility. These 5G initiatives out there, they're getting every ounce of spectrum they can out of that 5G so they could try to meet some of their, we'll call it SLA agreements that they have. So they need to look at alternative means for their deployment. And we're seeing the same thing in other parts of the world. Africa, for example, we think is going to be a major growth area for us. Primarily due to the fact they have no infrastructure there. I mean, they want to. Companies are trying to put fiber in the ground as fast as they can, but they can't keep up with that. So what they're looking for is easy deployment methodologies, hence unlicensed fixed wireless access. And now you're also dealing with parts of the world that, whether it's due to their rural regions, it's maybe some sort of geographic barriers such as islands or mountain ranges. These people want internet also. And in some parts of the world, getting licensed spectrum is very difficult and expensive. So unlicensed is where they're leaning towards. So this conglomerate of trying to reduce down CapEx while expanding your feature set or your reach is really lending itself towards the Mimosa portfolio.
Great. And over the past couple of years, maybe our relationship with the customers hasn't been the greatest, unfortunately, but how do you envision Mimosa's relationship with our customers evolving under your leadership, especially in terms of feedback and responsiveness to market needs?
So, I mean, I don't want to look in the past, especially in regards to this. Let's look towards the future of what's been going on.
Absolutely.
Customer support has always been one of the number one initiatives that I've had. Every customer or every company that I've worked with, we have to gear towards customer responsiveness. My goal is for us to interact more as a partner, as a thought leader with our customers going forward. to actually have discussions of how to help them expand and to gain more revenue, more opportunities. We're not just going to be a box vendor, we're going to be a solution provider to these people. I know that's kind of a catchphrase for a lot of folks, but I live it. This is something that we will start to ingrain in the CTO organizations, maybe even the business organizations of our customers, finding ways where we can help them. Because if we help them, it obviously helps us.
Okay, so let's switch gears just a little bit here. We're almost to the end of your grilling interview anyway. So let's talk a little bit more about you. So who or what has been your biggest inspiration in your career, and how does that influence your decision-making process as a leader today?
I have been blessed by having mentors throughout my entire life. People who have taken time and effort and shown me leadership techniques, take me under their wing, etc. And I truthfully like to reciprocate that. So I've been involved with organizations where the CEOs have been nothing but encouraging and helpful, and I've seen the results of that. So I try to carry that forward. I also have a somewhat of unique background. I played college football, Division I level, national champion, the whole 9 yards. And my viewpoint of teamwork is a little different than others. Where your teamwork can actually cause violence, but you learn very quickly how to work with others very nicely. And I like to bring that mentality to this. Is we are a team. We all should have the same goals and objectives so we can all march down the same path. And that's what I try to encourage everybody to do.
Well, guys, you heard it here first. If I'm all beat up on the next podcast, you know why? It's because I've gotten tackled a few times.
I'll avoid it, maybe. All right,
Maybe.
thanks.
All right, and then our last question here, and then I'll let you get back to your busy day. Let's fast forward 5 years from now. Where do you see us as Mimosa within the Radisys family, and how would you define success for this merger?
So if things go according to, we'll call it optimistic plans, Mimosa is going to be in a much different world than everybody else. The volumes that we're talking about deploying just within our Indian operation is going to place us in a different strata than, we'll call it, everybody else. And that will allow us to basically plow back into R&D activities, customer support activities, etc. So from that aspect, sky's the limit for us. And I don't say that lightly. The opportunity in front of us is absolutely tremendous. Been talking to quite a few of the market analysts, market leaders, larger customers out there. They're very excited about what can happen to Mimosa overall. And what does that mean for us in the global scale is as we bring more of that to the table, we can also help out and be part of the solution set with the rest of, we'll call it the Radisys group. If we can show up with either our solution and help augment with Radisys items, or Radisys shows up and augments it with ours, that's a win-win. That's going to be a fantastic outcome for everybody.
Great. Well, thank you for your time today. I think that our podcast here will go a long way in letting people know more about you and what our future looks like. So I really appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you doing this. This is fantastic. Hopefully we can do some more in the future.
Sounds good. All right, we'll catch you later, guys. See you on the next episode of the Dustin Eric Podcast Show. Thanks for tuning in. Please hit the subscribe or follow button to stay up to date with our latest podcast, which will be available on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud.